Here we are at the Gorham, New Hampshire Walmart. The drive up here was not uneventful. I had a rock in my wheel well making a racket. I wasn't sure what it was for a while, so it freaked me out, and I actually stopped a couple of times to try to find it. Eventually the rock fell out, and I simultaneously had another noise that I eventually realized was a piece of loose tape on my roof flapping in the wind. Anyway, I stayed here a couple of years ago. This is where Candy and I hiked on the Appalachian Trail, and I interviewed a thru hiker. I remember there being a couple living in their car in this parking lot, but I can't remember if they were tourists or homeless. But the lady in this car is definitely homeless, with all her belongings crammed into the back of the car. She's a 60-something-year-old woman, which is typical of the homeless I've seen at Walmarts around the country. It seems like it's not her first rodeo because she showed up after dark. It's best not to loiter during the day and get the attention of police. Looks like she's watching a video on her phone. There's a train. It's not loud though, just a mild clacking. If it were loud here, I would have remembered not to stay here. I just remember this being a pleasant town with no issues. This is my first outing in my new camper van. I've been living in it for months in my parents' driveway during the pandemic, but I figured I'd better do some camping this summer before the fall and winter comes, and then there may be more pandemic lockdowns. I chose New Hampshire because they had no quarantine restrictions like the other New England states. We'll be hiking at Moose Brook State Park and staying at this Walmart for a few days until I check into a campsite I reserved not far from here. So here's my camper van here at Moose Brook Park, and the hiking here is great. I ended up staying overnight here in Moose Brook State Park. I just parked here and blended in with the tent campers. Nobody checked to see if I paid. It was a very quiet night. There was this mouthy little white chihuahua that made mine seem well behaved. She's waiting for bacon to be cooked in that cast iron frying pan. But it's time for us to check into White Birch's RV park. This is my first paid campsite. I'm plugged into a 30 amp outlet. There's a water faucet next to it. I have my own picnic table and a fire ring for $34 a night. Not much going on at the campground except these people that just arrived at the campsite next to me. The woman has a head covering, and it reminded me of the Orthodox Jews I saw when I was traveling through Westchester County in New York. And sure enough, there's a young man there behind the tree that was wearing a prayer shawl and rocking back and forth like they do when they pray. Their license plates were from New Jersey. This was an unexpected sight in the woods of New Hampshire. We had a very pleasant week here, hiking on the trails behind the campground. I didn't film. I just wanted to enjoy myself. The only snafu was that I blew a fuse when I decided to try out my air conditioner. I had it on high when I turned it on. Fortunately, I still had electricity being plugged into the 30 amp. I just need to replace the fuse when I get home. I would definitely stay here again. It was nice having unlimited electricity and water, having access to a dumpster. There's a bathroom 100 yards away and an extra sink to wash pots and pans, which I did use. There were showers here if I needed one, a swimming pool, a laundry. I would definitely stay here again, and I plan on staying at other RV parks in the future.